don't share this information. It is confidential. I want you to save money, but I don't want the taxman to know that I'm sharing it. Only joking, okay? Everything I'm going to share with you at this moment in time is legitimate. It's all above board. What the hell? If I can save you some money, then let's do it. Hey ho, that's what it's all about. Now, the taxman really does hate me at the moment for sharing this information with you. My name's Roy, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight as to how you can avoid paying tax, particularly in the UK if you're investing in property. If you haven't already done so, please give us a like to this video or subscribe to this channel, because I'd love to share with you lots of other information. And you may have already seen some of the videos I do where I teach you the ins and outs, ups and downs on how to invest in property successfully, properly, and in a profitable way. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so what do I mean about not having to pay tax? Well, when you invest in property, there are many things that you should consider. For example, okay, should you invest in property in your own personal name, or should you maybe invest in property using a company name? There are lots of different pros and cons which you should consider. But like anything, investing in property should be treated like a business, because at the end of the day, you want it to succeed. Now, if, for example, you're a basic tax earner, in other words, you pay 20% tax on your income, then it's highly likely that if you invest in property under your own name, that might be a good way to get started. However, the more successful you become and the more profit you make, it generally means that the government will class you as a higher tax earner. So you may end up paying 40% tax. So the thing to consider is this. If you was to continue buying and investing in property in your own personal name, the more successful and the more profits you start to make, the more tax you're going to pay. In other words, up to 40%. Oh. Now, don't share this information. Well, what the hell? Go and share it. If we can all benefit from it, why not share it? The taxman can hate me as much as he likes. But look, the thing is as well with tax and governments and so on, is very often they like to take tax from you, but they don't share the right information as to how you can save on paying tax, because they don't like us not paying tax, do they? At the end of the day, we've all got to pay some taxes because it does benefit us in one way or another. For example, the taxes we pay contribute towards providing maybe a national health service, upgrading the roads, it benefits education, and so on and so on. We can argue those things until the cows come home. Anyway, if, for example, you start investing in property through a company name, in other words, a limited company, there are far more tax benefits than you may think. And the taxman doesn't really tell you about that information. And believe it or not, some accountants don't even share that information either. So it's well worth doing your homework and making a bit of a list. The pros and cons of investing in your personal name versus investing in a limited company. Now, for me, if you start to own a number of properties, then you should really start purchasing them in a company name. One of the benefits of doing that is you only pay corporation tax. So at the moment, let's say corporation tax in the UK, just as an example, is 19%. So whatever profit you make as a company, you only pay 19% tax based on the profit you make. Now that is going to increase, no doubt, because the government are set to increase the rate of corporation tax, but it's still a lot cheaper than maybe paying 40% tax on your personal income if you were to buy the property and own them in your own name. Now, there are other pros and cons that I can go into, but fundamentally, what I am sharing with you today is this. If you're looking to invest in property, okay, on a long-term basis and grow a property portfolio, regardless of what type of properties or strategies you're going to invest in, start off by buying them in a limited company. The benefits definitely far outweigh the non-benefits. So as I say, if you're not sure about anything, it's always best to get some independent financial advice. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, because that is how you learn and earn at the same time. Every penny counts, doesn't it? So if you can save money on by avoid paying tax, then why not do so? Now, as you get more and more wealthy, which is the goal I'm sure that you'd love to set out to do, then there are further advantages that you can take to even save more money on avoiding paying tax. Now, I'm not going to go into those right now because they are a little bit more complex, but for the average beginner or person like you and me, my advice is if you're going to invest in property and you want to avoid paying tax to the taxman, then buy your property under a limited company name. Now, you've got to make sure that the way that company is set up has been done in the correct way as well. There are things like a SIC code, so you have to make sure that the SIC code that you're going to use for your company is correct and relates to what your company actually does. So in other words, if you're a dentist, the SIC code will be slightly different. If you're a doctor, it's going to be different to what a dentist is. So if you're investing in property, again, there are numerous SIC codes that you need to register the company name under. But again, an accountant will give you and advise you on the right information that you need to use. Now, what I've also done as well is in the comments below, I put some links, okay, that you can click on and you can read about the pros and cons and benefits of how to avoid paying tax, whether you should go into a limited company or start up in a limited company, or whether you should just base it on a sole trader. So please, do some reading, check on those links and see what you think. If you've got any questions or comments, by all means, get in touch. Be more than happy to answer anything that you may have. So, as I say, they are the basic pros and cons of investing in property and how to avoid saving tax. So, I hope it's been useful. As I say, give us a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to share with you tons more of information that is going to save you a lot of money. So until next time, guys, ciao for now.